5 minutes after 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. One of the things that keeps Ocala in touch with Ocala is Ocala Magazine. And Kelly Hart comes in here each Friday to bring us the magazine version, the radio version of Ocala Magazine. Sheesh. All I had to say was one simple thing, and I messed it up already, Kelly. Kelly Hart is here with some guests, and of course, it's called Ocala Magazine Radio. Good morning, Kelly. How you doing?
Good morning. Good. How are you doing this morning?
Pretty good. You're looking good as always.
Thank you. Thanks. It's Friday. It's always TGIF. We're always excited about Friday.
The red hue becomes you.
Thank you.
Do you like that phrase, becomes you?
Becomes me.
It's a weird phrase, isn't it?
Yes. I would rather it become me than me become it, I suppose.
Yeah, right.
It's been a huge change. It's funny because it's, for some people, it's like it's just your hair. It's not major. But when you've been one, like jet black brunette all your life, then it's kind of like a big deal. So,
yeah.
I'm like researching redheads, and people are like giving me facts about redheads. Like, did you know redheads? And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not really a redhead.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
That kind of a thing.
But none of that is true.
Well, of course not. Like, if you look into the eyes of a redhead, you fall in love in 10 seconds. I'm like, oh, gosh.
Wow.
Well, better wear shades.
Wow. Not that guy, Carrot Top. You wouldn't fall in love with that guy.
No. Well, maybe you just can't keep your eyes focused.
Although there's probably one person who has, I'm
assuming there must be some, where there's smoke, there's fire. Maybe there's truth in that. I don't know. But it's been fun. It's a little bit of a change, so it's been fun.
Yeah. Well, it looks nice.
Thank you very much. Maybe you could go red and report back to me and tell me how your life changes.
I'll let you know. Yeah.
Well, yes, it's Ocala Magazine Radio time. And, of course, this issue we've talked about is our 40 Under 40 issue. So I wanted to have some of our 40 Under 40 recipients join me this morning, and I have two with me. I thought I'd bring all 40 in, but I was doing you a favor by simply breaking it up into small groups. Yes, and it's hard to get my hands on all these guys because there's a reason they're 40 under 40. They're busy, they're active, they're doing things. So I was happy that you guys were able to be here today and not hopefully missing anything too drastically important to join me. But I have Regis Wood with me here today this morning. He's one of our 40 under 40 recipients, and Jennifer Legg. And they are both, the commonality is, of course, that they're amazing, wonderful people in the community, but of course both of their stories are very different. So it'll be fun to talk to them this morning. First, I'll introduce you to Regis, to my right, and let him tell you a little bit about himself. Good morning.
Good morning.
So tell us about you and what you do.
Oh, okay. So I got a long list of.
It's really exciting.
I'll make it short.
You're going to be really impressed if you've not already picked the issue up and read about it and even reading about it. Even the full bios we've been posting on Facebook. You're really going to be amazed by his story. I know I am. It's so amazing as we're working through different things in the magazine, and you're like, wow, this is Ocala. This guy he's Ocala. He's doing like worldwide amazing things, but he's in Ocala. So I digress. Go ahead. Toot your horn.
Well, I'm a bilateral above knee amputee. I am currently the fastest bilateral above knee amputee in the world in 200 meters.
Wow.
Right?
I'm also ranked number 1 in the U.S. in the long jump, 200, and number 2 in the U.S. in the 100. Only because in track and field, if the wind is over 2.0, then the race doesn't count. So hopefully I get some good, So hopefully I get some good wind on my next 100-meter race to boost me up in the rankings. But overall in the world, I'm ranked number 2 in the long jump. So I got some big races coming up here. Canada is August 8th. I'll be up in Canada kicking some butt. And then
yes.
And then August 25th is the big showdown. Richard Whitehead and I will be going at it. Richard Whitehead is the current world record holder. I am the fastest in the world for the 2014 season, but Richard Whitehead has something that I want, and that is the world record. And
Richard, he's coming for you.
Yeah, you're going to get it. You'll
I'm going to get him.
We'll root for you.
It's no doubt.
You're one of us, so we root for you.
Yes, you are right about that.
It's no doubt that I'm going to get him. I got a good team behind me. Coach Tony McCall. He's a former world champion, fastest guy around, and he's doing tremendous things for us, helping me get to the Olympics and reach my full potential. I do a lot of things. I also have a nonprofit organization, Never Say Never Foundation.org. 100% of the funds that we get in go straight to the cause. It's not that 10% goes to the cause and the rest goes to so-called overhead. 100% goes to the cause of helping the kids. And what we do is through donations is buy kids running prostheses that can't afford it. Insurance don't cover it.
Oh, wow.
And these things get quite expensive. My legs probably roughly cost $50,000.
Wow.
So the average parent can't afford that, and every child needs to be able to run and play as the other kids. But insurance companies say there's not a necessity for a kid to run, which is not truth. So we want to be those guys that step in and say, hey, we raise the money, your kid wants to run, we're going to do it. We send them to different camps. We put on our own camps. We teach them how to run. We got Never Say Never Pirate Camp coming up. It's just some great things that we're doing and reaching out to the community. John Travolta helps out with the foundation for sponsorships and stuff like that. So, and he's right here in Ocala, and I just want to say big thanks to John and his team for seeing our vision and investing in us and helping us. I'm also a prosthetic and orthotic technician. I make prosthetic legs for a living.
Really? Wow.
Yes, I've been doing it for the last 15 years. So I have a lot going on. I'm also a member of Empowered Records, which is a local gospel record label here in Ocala. And actually, we're the first in the area to be signed with a major distribution deal with Infinity. So we're actually on a tour right now called the Impact Tour. And it's a free tour, different artists from Gainesville, Orlando, and we make up this group, the Impact Tour. And we travel around to different cities to cities, churches to churches. We go into neighborhoods. We go into the prisons and ministering to the inmates and just putting on a free live concert for them and just showing them that there is life after the situation, that no matter what you're going through, that you can make it, and it's always the light at the end of the tunnel. Just stay positive, and we speak about overcoming adversity with a positive attitude, and I've definitely learned that over the years.
You know those stories that you see on Facebook or social media, or you read or you hear on the news about, somebody that's doing major things and they've overcome all these adversities, and to me, his story is that, because we're talking, it was what, 2 years old? You were two when you lost your legs?
Yes.
Okay, so he lost his legs at 2 years old, so he's had to live his whole life already with what would be considered an obstacle.
My goodness.
But he's not just like, yeah, I've lost my legs, but hey, I'm going to still walk like everybody else. He's like, no, I'm going to run. No, not only am I going to run, I'm going to be like the fastest runner in the world.
Yeah.
It's like, so sometimes,
holy cow.
And this is honest to God's truth. When I first heard your story, which was several years ago, there are times where, I'm out running, or maybe I'm working out, or maybe I'm thinking about working out, but coming up with excuses why or whatever. And then I think of you, and I do, and I think of you, and I think, what am I doing?
Right.
What am I doing? What am I complaining about? And so that is why that story alone, when we had an opportunity to pick our 40 under 40, we thought just that story alone, not all the records, not all the titles, not all the extracurricular things, which are all very amazing, and we were able to learn through having you as part of our 40 under 40. But just that alone, we thought this is the criterion. This is what we look for when we're looking for these 40 under 40 recipients.
You don't know how many people are inspired just by publishing that story.
So awesome.
The work you do, Regis, is outstanding, and anybody who can help spread the word is actually helping somebody else.
Yes.
It is.
And what I will say on his behalf, because he may not want to say this himself, but what makes it possible for him to continue to go overseas and compete and train is sponsors. And so he still, like everybody else, has daily responsibilities and bills to pay and kids to take care of. Right. So he's working a full-time job, which we were talking in the lobby about how he is having to balance working full-time and finding the time to train, rest, eat, things that some of these people, that is their job. The training itself is what they do all day. But he can't do that. He's got to work. He's got stuff to take care of. And so sponsors are so critical for him to be able to go and train and compete. So if you're listening and you feel compelled, or if you know somebody or this story hits home with you, now's the time to think about, if I was going to help somebody, where would I want my money to go? And consider being a sponsor. I think that it would be an awesome opportunity to say, hey, I helped that guy get there, and look, he's winning.
No question about it.
Yes.
So it would be an honor to actually help you.
Yeah, and if you guys don't mind, I'll share something with the, it's a little spiel that I do every time I do my motivational speaking. It says, living in the shoes of Regis, life was hard. Kids picked on him because the way he walked. As he walked down the hall, y'all, he heard them talk. Called him everything but a child of God. Why? 'Cause he didn't have no legs. Went to his mom and this is what she said. She said, son, hey, it'll be okay. The more they talk about you, the more you pray. Trust in the Lord, he'll show you the way. Never give up, hey, you can do it. All you got to do is put your mind to it and pursue it. Lean on the Lord and he'll help you through it. Trust me, I know God came through and opened up doors. 'Cause my life got now turn it around. My biggest haters make up the majority of my crowd screaming, Regis, you can do it. All you got to do is put your mind to it. Some call me the greatest and some call me the best. At the end of the day, I just call myself blessed. Man said no, but God said yes. I stunt bikes, I run track, and I'm here to let you know that you can do anything if you put your mind to it. Never say never.
Whoa.
Beautiful singing voice too, by the way.
Whoa. That was
really good.
that was a total surprise.
There needed to be applause there.
I know.
Was out there.
I feel just
it was out there.
Jaw dropping. It's one of those.
Yeah,
I mean, and I
yeah.
can only imagine. in front of groups the impact that would make on somebody. That was awesome.
And we all
That was
understand at some level. We all understand what you were going through as you were growing up with, because kids can be cruel. Kelly, we need to take a little break.
Okay.
And we'll be right back.
Okay, great.
So this is our moment to take a little weather break, and we will be right back with Ocala Magazine Radio and your host Kelly Hart.
Great.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. A blend of sun and clouds today with a couple of thunderstorms around this afternoon and evening. The high 88 to 92. Partly cloudy overnight, low 72 to 76. Clouds and sun tomorrow with a couple of thunderstorms around during the afternoon and evening hours. High 88 to 92. For Sunday, partly sunny with an afternoon thunderstorm. High 90 to 94. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust-proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
How good does it get?
Golf has long been considered to be sport's most prestigious game, and WOCA has your connection to everything in the golf world. Every first and third Thursday at 10 a.m., tune in for Let's Talk Golf with your host, PGA professional and teacher to the stars, Jim Beckett, and operations manager for the Links of Spruce Creek South, Darren Irwin, right here on The Source.
Well, I wish you could have heard what we were hearing off the air. Maybe Regis and Kelly. Boy, it sounds like a TV show, doesn't it?
I know. We'll take it.
Anyway,
Yes.
let's return to Kelly Hart and Ocala Magazine Radio. And yeah, Regis was just holding a spellbound with some of his stories off the air. So I'll throw it back to you, Kelly.
Yes. Okay. What he was explaining to us, and I'll let him just kind of reiterate that story a little bit, because we were talking during commercial break just about how inspiring it is and how you can really help people with your stories. And, everything happens for a reason. What might seem like a travesty could save potentially tons of lives and literally save lives. And
Sure.
Tell us that story real briefly.
Yeah, I was reminded of, I went to Orlando, and there was a guy, truck driver, 35 years old, wife and kids. He had a freak accident, lost his leg due to an injury on a four-wheeler. And I went into the hospital to see him, and he bust out into tears. He was just crying real bad. And so I asked the nurse to step out, and I'm like, man, what's going on? He was like, man, I was getting discharged in a couple of days, and he had made it up in his mind to end his life.
Wow.
And he said, he looked up at me, and he was like, man, you saved my life. I knew nothing about being an amputee. I thought my life was over. And that's one of my things that I do now for us giving back, is try to go to the hospitals and talk to new amputees and reassure them that there is life after amputation. And I'm thankful that I was able to be there to save a life. And I was just doing it out of the goodness of my heart. I wasn't getting any kickback from it. I had no idea that this guy was suicidal.
Wow.
And that's what happens a lot of times is when a person becomes an amputee and has not, they don't know about it. They've never been through it. So they're in the dark. They think their life, especially with a man, is like, I'm less of a man because I'm missing a limb. That's not the case. I can climb trees and all kinds of stuff, cutting down stuff, mowing the yard. I do all of that. It's nothing that you can't do.
That's awesome. What a great inspiring
beautiful
message.
Story, yeah.
Yes, and kind of along that same line, I want to talk to Jennifer Legg, who is another one of our 40 under 40 recipients, and she is probably one of the most creative people that I know and have come to know, and I'm not even exactly sure, I can't even remember how we met or how, but anyways, I'm sure it was probably a Facebook situation or social media, but Jennifer is so creative in the stuff that she does and the things that she creates, and I really want to let her talk about that. But first, what I want to talk about, because one of the questions we ask our recipients is, we send them this questionnaire and we let them fill it out, and that becomes their bio, of which we publish in the magazine. And because of space, only a short edited version gets published, and then the full versions we're publishing day by day throughout the month of July on Facebook. But one of the things that we asked her was something she supports, and she supports the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and goes on to say that her brother received an amazing wish, and so therefore she is now a volunteer wish granter. So tell us a little bit about that, because I think that's awesome. I don't think met anybody in real life that I know who's had the wish granted. Know about it, but so we'd love to hear that story.
A few years ago at 14, my brother received a heart transplant. So now he's super healthy and great, and we're very grateful for that.
Amen.
And a few months later, Make-A-Wish sent our entire family to Hawaii, which was amazing. We went for 7 days.
Wow.
Everything was paid for, every single thing. So it was an experience that we were definitely very, very grateful for. So we wanted to give back to Make-A-Wish. So my mother and I became volunteer wish granters. We actually just did a send-off party on Saturday for a 16-year-old child who also received a heart transplant.
Wow.
And he's also going to Hawaii with his family. So
Now, how does that work? When a child has an opportunity to make that wish, how does it come to fruition?
First, somebody has to refer the child to Make-A-Wish. Usually it's a doctor, a family member, somebody who really sees what the child's going through in the family and wants them to receive something to make the situation a little better. So first a referral is done, then the doctor approves it. Then it's sent to Make-A-Wish. And then the volunteer wish granters go and meet with the family, try to discover what the child's wish is, make sure it's something the child actually wants and not what the family wants. So we pick the top 3 wishes, and then we send those off to Make-A-Wish, and they decide which wish is able to be granted. And then the Make-A-Wish plans the trip for them, and we do a send-off party and make sure everything's in order. And it's very fun. It's very great to see the families and see how grateful they are for it. So.
That is awesome. And so that's cool that because your family got to experience it, it motivated you guys to become volunteers. So now you're changing those people's lives.
Yeah, Make-A-Wish is amazing.
That is awesome. That is very good. I had no idea. Like I say, I had some of these people I know personally or work with them, and then you start reading these bios and it's just like, I did not know this, or this is so awesome. And it really just puts into perspective how amazing our community is and the people in there. So, okay, you're a paralegal by day.
Yes.
Okay, that sounds very legal. But by night.
A paralegal.
A paralegal. And by night, and probably weekends and early mornings, you own Marley May Designs. So tell us a little bit about what you do, or maybe I should say, what don't you do? Because you can do
all
pretty much everything.
All things creative, pretty much. I do invitations for events, weddings. I also help small businesses with logos, promotional materials, a lot of event stuff. Just making things cute and fun, and it makes me very happy. So I'm very grateful that I'm able to do that.
And they are very cute and fun. And she'll post pictures, and there's like, I'm doing these stamps, I'm doing these envelopes, or invitations, and you're like, oh, that's so cute. And the next thing you know, now I'm doing these wall plaques, and you're like, oh my gosh, those are so cute. The next thing you know, so it's like constantly. So
yes,
like,
very
how
constantly.
do you just keep just exploring? I mean, how do you? Because it's like your line has grown pretty much from invitations to anything.
It's become pretty overwhelming. I go by customer requests. If they see something they like and they send it to me and they say, hey, can you do this? And I pretty much always say yes and find a way to make it work. So,
and where did Marley May?
It's my Greyhound.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
I assumed, but I wasn't really sure.
A lot of people call me Marley, but yeah.
Yes. Well, and I was called Lily for several years too. So I guess when you own a business, it's not named after yourself.
Yeah.
You can just kind of
Well, I think when I first
take shape.
met you, I thought you were Lily.
Yeah. A lot of people do.
Yeah.
A lot of people would call the store and ask for Lily. I'd say, oh, she's in kindergarten, you know, or she's, I'm sorry, she's not allowed to talk to adults on the phone. And they were really confused, but that was kind of fun. But you've branded yourself so well because even though it's not what you do full time, people, like, you're the go-to person people know and recommend and are always very happy. I've seen people who have purchased your products and then reposted it and they're just ecstatic. So that should give you a lot of satisfaction in knowing how super creative you are. You know, when you're creative, I think you know you're creative. Like if you can sing, you know you can sing, but you don't really know until many somebodies reiterate that for you. So when you're creative, you're kind of like, oh, you know, thanks, yeah, I'm creative. So it's always good to tell somebody when they're really creative just how talented they are so they really understand it.
So they know, yeah.
I still get nervous every time I send a design out that the person's not going to like it or, but I've gotten a little more confident in that obviously, but yeah, I still get nervous every single time. So when somebody says, you're awesome, I love this, I'm like, oh.
Yes. So one of the things that you said, one of your questions, something about having your own storefront or having your own line. So
yeah,
what are you going to do about that?
Hopefully in the future. Right now, I like the stability of having a full-time job, but in the future, I would definitely like to have my own storefront and maybe not make it just me, but bring in somebody else as well to make it just a cute little shop, kind of like what Lily's was. Something along those lines, and I'd love for that to happen. Yeah. And to go national with a stationery line or something like that.
So could we maybe like set a goal for you and then check back with you in like a year or two and see if you...
I'd say like three to 5 years.
Okay.
I think that's more realistic for you.
I would think that it would be very successful. I would think that being able to walk in, because the stuff you do is so cute, I can only imagine how it would look displayed in storefront and being able to walk in and just grab things that you see that are really cute.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, like right now, what you're doing is custom orders. But that takes somebody needing or thinking or having an idea of what they want. But a lot of us women, we are impulse buyers, so we don't know, but we just want to walk in and see pretty things and then buy it, and that's how we operate.
I do have a semi-storefront in Wagon Wheel Antique Mall where I have a few prints and custom things and cute home decor and stuff like that. So it's a little bit of a storefront for now, so it's a start.
Yes. And so what do you do as a paralegal? I mean, is that...
Everything. We do all of the legal stuff pretty much, except for appearing at hearings and dealing with clients. Everything.
It just sounds so. It's funny. She's so creative and colorful and fun.
Yeah, it's like both sides of the brain.
I know. I don't know how.
Yeah, art and legal doesn't seem to work together.
That's why I said it's so legal.
Yeah.
I work in a fun office, if that makes a difference.
Yes.
I wonder why. Maybe you have a reason.
That does make a huge difference.
Yeah.
And so if somebody wants to order something, tell them how they can get in touch with you, because obviously that's very important information.
You can either go on my website, marleymaydesigns.com, or find me on Facebook and send me a message or email. Pretty much anyway.
Yes. Please check her out. She's always posting pictures of her products, obviously. That's the best way to market yourself and sell things. And you will agree with me as soon as you do that it's adorable products and you'll want to get to know Jennifer. And tell us how we can find out more about the Never Say Never Foundation.
You can go to neversayneverfoundation.org. Also hit me up on Facebook, Regis Woods at Facebook.
Yes.
How's Regis spelled?
Regas.
A-S, okay.
WOODS.
Okay. Yes. He needs sponsors. I'm going to try to make that like a side mission of mine, just to, if the opportunity presents itself, to help find you some sponsors. Because we want to watch, and you did say it's televised, right? When you go over
to England is going to be the biggest televised Paralympic event besides Sochi. It's going to be on BBC News.
On August 25th?
August 25th is the big showdown, Regis Woods and Richard White.
You have to watch this. I mean, this is going to be amazing. I want to thank you guys for being here today. I want to encourage everybody to pick up an Ocala magazine and check out the other 38 amazing people who received our 40 Under 40 awards. And please like us on Facebook. I'm posting the full profiles and pictures of everybody. And we're constantly throwing out fun things on the Ocala magazine Facebook page. So do not miss it.
Kelly, thank you for bringing in two very inspiring people. Thank you. Regis and Jennifer, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having
All right,
us.
we'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
John Kerry's in Cairo, the Secretary of State pushing for a ceasefire in Gaza.
Hamas is saying it won't agree to a ceasefire unless it includes an easing of the joint Israeli-Egyptian blockade of Gaza.
Fox Radio's Rachel Sutherland. And in Michigan, the owner of two dogs that fatally mauled a man